Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome to a new trading week. This is Jeff here with FXMindshift, and this is your Sunday weekly review. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the economic calendar for this week. As you can see here, we don't have a lot of red folders at the start of the week. Monday or Tuesday looks pretty bare, but starting in the middle of the week, Wednesday, we have all of these PMI folders here. From the London session extending into the New York session, right? So a bulk of the high impact news is going to be on Wednesday, so we should expect a decent amount of volatility from those folders here. Then Thursday in the New York session, we have a couple of red folders: advanced GDP, unemployment claims, and then Friday we have one in the New York session as well, core PCE price index. So you should expect the bulk of the volatility to happen on Wednesday. So be careful, trade with discretion if you are trading the news, which I don't recommend. But if you are trading the news, trade with some discretion here as the folders come out. You certainly don't want to be stuck in a trade when price is, making some unexpected shifts when the news comes out. All right. So let's take a look at the charts. We're going to head over to the DXY monthly chart. So just like last week, we're going to be looking at these from a monthly top-down perspective, right? And we're just going to be seeing if we can follow up from what we were expecting last week, and if we were get some continuation or follow through from the ideas we expressed last week. So if we look at the monthly chart here on DXY, okay, you can see that we are still inside of this monthly consolidation, right? So the range we're currently trading in is from this high to this low, right? And you can see previously that we did take out liquidity above and below the previous consolidation range, right? And then we made this new range here that we're currently trading inside of. So last reaction here, this low came up and put in this high, right? And we did not break through, so we're still inside of this range. Price coming back into the middle of the range here, and then hopefully we'll be looking at price coming into the discount of the range and trading into it towards this low. Okay, so the idea is going to be for the monthly candles to come back down into the range here. Okay, probably back into the monthly OB or the low of the range here, and then see if price does continue to consolidate from there, because we don't really know how long price is going to be held inside of consolidation. So best we can go off of right now is the current price movement, which is moving down, right, and into the 50% level or down into the discount bottom half of the range. Okay, so since we don't have too much clarity here on the monthly, let's drop down to a weekly, and let's see if we can get a little bit more a better idea on the direction that we're moving. Okay, the range, as you can see, the monthly internal range is also currently our weekly range. Okay, so our weekly high and our low that we're trading inside of, the low that we put in here for price to pull back up into this premium area here, right? And you can see here that price was making higher highs and higher lows, but we failed to push higher from this point right here. So this low here put in this high, which did not break the high over here, which means that we have a valid reaction in the premium of the range to move back down, right? So the expectation now is going to be for price to continue to move down into the 50% of the range or below, right? We have, in terms of points of interest, we've got the monthly OB down here, or sorry, the weekly OB down here with the imbalance. Okay, that's going to be the extreme of the range if we can get down to this level here. All right, and that's if we continue to drop from this level below this structure. But the immediate structure that we're going to be looking for price to come down into is going to be below or into this low of this range here, right? However, before we do that, as you can see here, we have price basically taking out this pool of liquidity here below all of these wicks. Okay, you can see price is dug underneath that level. There's a small imbalance right here. Right, and we can see a reaction from that after price has swept all of this liquidity here and then moved back to the upside. So this right now currently is where we see price retracing from after taking out this liquidity down here. Okay, so we've dipped into the imbalance, we've taken out the lows, and we've started to move back up. So what's the expectation really is going to be for price to continue back up into here, right, and then continue down into here, right? So this is generally what we'll be looking for price to do. Okay, so moving back towards the premium of the range of the smaller range here, right? And if I can just kind of shrink this down to where I'm actually looking at right here. Okay, this is the range I'm looking at. And if we go down to the daily, right, we can probably, or I can expect that to be the daily range that we're in, right? And that's currently where we are. So as you can see here, the high and the low, right? We've taken out this low here. Look at the nice set of railroad tracks we made here after taking out the low. Nice fast down up reaction, right? That's a very indicative sign of price taking liquidity and moving away from that area, right? So liquidity has been swept below the lows here, moving back up into the range. So what can we expect? We can expect price to come back into the premium of the range here and then continuing down after that. So we're going to be looking for a move up first before the move down. And in terms of points of interest, we have a nice imbalance here, right? We've got an OB here as well, and we have the area above if it makes it up there. But I would be looking for this area here first. Okay, so this is our daily point of interest, all right, that we're going to be targeting, and the draw. Okay, and I'll mark the OB as well. Okay, so basically anywhere in here would be ideal. Okay, and then seeing it put in the lower high here, and then the continuation down to move lower. Okay, so let's drop down to the 4 hour and let's see if we get a little bit more refinement on this, right? So now the 4 hour range, okay, as you can see, is because we've taken out this low here, okay, here's the swing low, there's the swing high here. We're going to actually be expecting price to come up and take out this 4 hour high as we retrace back into the bigger daily range, right? So these areas here, right, is going to act as engineer liquidity or extra liquidity, extra, like equal highs. Above that is going to be the imbalance here that we're expecting price to run into. So anytime we have a point of interest, such as an imbalance or an order block, what we'd like to see is for price to show us a little bit of, inducement into that zone. So the highs here, right, into an imbalance is a much stronger point of interest than if you were just going to see an imbalance there by itself. So if we see price moving into that zone, this is kind of the idea that we'd like to see happen at the start of the week. So maybe we get a move down first, and then a move up into that zone. Okay, so this is kind of the idea. We have a nice 4 hour imbalance here that we can trade into, right? And the idea here is to see price moving from internal liquidity to external, right? So now that we've already seen the run below the low, right? Price is going to want to take some internal liquidity before moving through to the next external liquidity point, which is the swing high range here and this nice 4 hour point of interest. Okay, and so that is going to be how I expect price to move for DXY. We can contrast that now with euro dollar. So let's move on to EU. All right, and so for EU, monthly perspective, okay, as you can see, same idea here. We're in a monthly consolidation, right? So the monthly range that we're currently trading inside of, from this high to this low, all right, as you can see here, price has moved, put in this high, moved away from that level here, came back into the discount, traded into the bottom of the range, the OB here, and then we see a reaction from the swing low here back up to the upside. Okay, so just like the dollar, but flipped, right, inverted, we're going to be looking for price to move up into the premium of the range here, right, and then we'll see if we continue with the consolidation, right? We don't know how long it's going to go on for, but that would be the expectation, right? So where are we expecting right now for price to go is going to be the immediate move up into the premium of the range here. Okay, I'm targeting this high here because that's the premium of the range. We could also be targeting this high. This is probably the closer and more logical high that we should run, right? So 109.80, let's call it 110 big figure, right? Nice even number, key level, and significant price level. Okay, so that is the monthly, but since we're just in a range here, let's go down to the weekly. Let's see if we can get some more clarity here on the weekly, like we did on DXY. Okay, so no surprise, if we drop down to the weekly, we can see that the weekly range is that monthly internal range that we were talking about. Okay, so our weekly high, weekly low, and now we're trading inside of that weekly range as such. Okay, here we can see price was putting in the lower low, lower highs as we were moving down, but once again we can see price has failed to put in that lower low here, and now we've gone above and traded above that high. Okay, so it definitely looks like we are moving back to the upside into the premium, and that's why we have these areas targeted here. This was that high above 109.80 or 110, basically, big figure, right? And we have a nice wick and order block up here that we can trade into for a weekly point of interest. So I'm going to be looking for a move like that and then back down into the discount. Okay, so liquidity here being targeted. All right, point of interest here. We certainly could move above this high as well, right? I also have that, as a point of interest we could run above the wick here, but this is going to be the first area or the low-hanging fruit. So this is going to be the most logical area first to run into, and that's what we'll target. So let's go down to the daily, and let's see if we can get that same kind of confirmation on the daily as we did. So drop in the daily markups here, okay? And as you can see here, same idea, right? We took out the daily structural high. We have a nice reaction from taking out the level here with the nice railroad tracks, right? So fast up, fast down movement, and then the continuation. So nice swing high being put in here, the daily high. And now the daily range, okay, is going to be from that high to this low, right? So what's the expectation of price now is we have these 2 points of interest below here in the 50% level and the discount level that we're going to be drawing to next. Okay, and this would be the next logical move down for euro dollar. So this level first because it's the closest, right? There's an imbalance here and an OB, but obviously we would like for price to retrace further or deeper into the range, into the discount of the range. So that's why we have this secondary area here, because if this doesn't hold, then this will likely be the next target that we move down to, right? So regardless of whether we think it's going to go down to here and react or even go down all the way through the low here, the idea is that we're expecting it regardless to move down to these levels first, right? So if we go down to the 4 hour and we take a look at the 4 hour structure and the range, let's drop the 4 hour markups here. Okay, now you can see here that we have the swing low here, right? And keep in mind the daily point of interest that we were targeting is the structural low here, right? So we're going to be looking for price to move through that low, right? Taking out that low here and then trading down into one of these 2 areas. Okay, so the idea is going to be for price to do what? Probably we'll see price, we want to see price put in a swing low here. All right, so we can see that there is a semblance of a swing low forming, all right, and although not very strong, but we want to see price come back up maybe first into a point of interest higher, right? So we get kind of like a stop on high and then a drop through the low, like so. Okay, and if you look at that and contrast that with the DXY, right, it's the inverse of what we're expecting here on DXY. Okay, so we get a stop on low, high, run of the highs, and here we get a stop on high and then run of the lows, right? And then the continuation down after that. So expect maybe a beginning of the week fake out, and then we get the high put in, and then we get the continuation down, and then we run through the lows, right? This is all of this here is fair game. We got the swing low, we got the swing low here, and then we also have an imbalance here too, that daily point of interest that we're expecting price to run down to, which is that consolidation here and the mitigation of this high right here. Okay, so that is euro dollar. Let's move on to GU next. All right, now GU on the monthly, as you can see here, we have price put in this low here, and we were retracing back up to the range. So, basically we're in a bullish retracement here on the monthly, right? We are still in sort of a range, okay, like a consolidation range, as we saw on euro. This is the next likely target, as you can see, because we've already run this high here. Okay, now we certainly could, come down from running this high here, but the candle is still pretty much bullish, and we're not having any we're not losing any bullish momentum basically, right? So until we see, price kind of starting to make a turnaround here, are going to be assuming that price is going to want to continue to move higher. Okay, and that is also congruent with what we're expecting on euro dollar, because we are also expecting euro dollar to move higher on the monthly as well, right? If you guys, this is kind of a mess, but okay, yeah, so there's the monthly, right? So we're expecting euro dollar to move higher on the monthly. We're also going to be expecting GU to do the same. Okay, this area here, or the wick above, or the high above this wick here, is going to be the next draw. That's going to be above 131, looks like 131.50 mid figure. Okay, and there's a nice OB imbalance for a point of interest above that as well to draw into. So that's a very nice kind of area to target on the monthly. All right, now let's drop down to the weekly and see if we can get some extra confirmation here. So on the weekly chart, okay, as you can see, our weekly range is from this high to this low. Okay, and price is still moving bullishly, right, to the high of the range here. So naturally, that's why I'm targeting the high here. We can see the nice big bullish candles, right, that we basically did at after taking out this high. We do have a reaction after taking out the higher and retracement, so we would expect price to move down first before moving up again. Okay, so if we go down to the daily and we take a look at the daily structure, right, we can see that also here, which is apparent, taking out the structure and then giving us the retracement. So what are we looking for price to do? Just like in the euro dollar movements, right, expecting price to come down like this, right? Same thing here with GU. We've put in the high, price has started to retrace back into the range, the daily range here, this high to this low. Okay, so we're going to be looking to target a discount point of interest below the 50% right here. So we've got the order block on the line here with the imbalance just above. So this will be the first area that I look for price reaction. And then of course, if this does not hold and we trade through that area, we're going to be looking for the next area down here, which is the OB here and the imbalance. Okay, so essentially we're going to be looking for price to move down first, right? Down here or here, and then the continuation up after that. Okay, so let's drop down to the 4 hour, right? And let's mark out our 4 hour expectation or projections here. So if we have the 4 hour markups on here, that'd be great. There we go. All right, so you can see here, we have the break of structure here on the 4 hour already. Right, we can see that price is put in, pseudo equal lows here, right? Just below the area is the discount and the 50%. Okay, so we're gonna be targeting this area down here, mitigating the swing high, right, and the consolidation of the structure over here, where we broke structural highs over here. I would expect price to give us a reaction somewhere in this vicinity, as we come back down into this high, because that is going to be a key level where I'd expect price to give us a reaction. So that also makes sense because we're looking for price to sweep that level down here as we do that. So again, if we can put in this high or this low here, right, and we can see retracement back up first and then the move down, that would ideally be the movement here. And we can see a little 4 hour imbalance here with the OB as well. So this would be a nice area to target on the upside. Okay, a little stop hunt high, drop, okay, into that zone. So this will be our GU outlook, all right? If we can get that to occur this week, that would be fantastic. And moving on, let's go over to gold. Okay. So gold on the monthly chart, as you can see, we did put in a new high last week, right? So we did go higher as expected, and we did take out the 2450 level, right? And we did just make it just below the 2500. I wanted to see price, actually go above 2500. So, we don't have, any kind of bearish indication yet, right? Price has made a new high, of course, and whenever price does that, people always speculate and they try to catch the highs or catch the tops and try to catch that reversal. I mean, this could be the high. I'm not saying that there's not that chance of that happening, but we don't have any real confirmation of that yet. But we do have is that price has taken out a key level and that we will see price retrace. So having said that, right, let's drop down to the weekly, because on the weekly we can see that price has taken out the structure and we have this nice wick rejection here with this like weekly pin bar, right? So even if we don't go higher, we would expect price to retrace first before doing that. So we want to see price do something like this, right? Whether we go down here or here, we're expecting price to go down first before making the move up if it does. Okay, so the direction is going to be down at the start of the week, and we're going to see if price will continue to do that, because we got this nice rejection here on the weekly. Okay, and we left this nice pin. So we're going to look for price to continue. If we get a little retracement, small retracement back, we're going to see price hold that high and then continue down, right? So let's look at the daily and see if there's like a better way to kind of illustrate that. So if we go to the chart, let's put on the daily markups here, right? As price has taken out that structure, we formed the swing high here. Okay, there's a nice daily OB here that we could react to, but I'm going to be focusing on this one here, okay, because this is where we actually saw price take out the high and then continue up to break this high over here. So this movement down, okay, could give us a retracement back up first before it goes down, or it could just go straight down into this level. But either way, as I said, we're going to be looking for price to continue down this week for gold as we start off the week. So dropping down into the 4-hour, okay, and I know that there's a little bit of a data issue here with the forex.com chart, and I think that we did move a little bit further down here. So like, for example, let's actually go to maybe the Oanda chart is better. Yeah, so you can see here price does come down a little bit further in the range, but we still haven't taken out this low here. So we'll look for price to continue down and take out the low. We might see price retrace up first. Okay, there's a little imbalance here, so maybe we'll see price come back up into a imbalance here and then come down into that level. That's probably what we'll look for, and that's very similar to what we're expecting on GU and also EU, right? So we can take that into consideration as well and look for a, basically start of the week false move, and then the stop on high, and then the continuation down. So we'll look for a peak reversal here midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the continuation down through into the nice areas of interest that we're expecting down here. Okay, and apologize for the data feed, but this is basically the same thing here on this Oanda chart here. So that's what we'll look for on gold, right? And then last but not least, we've got NASDAQ, okay, which we have seen price put in a new high once again. This is a daily chart. Let's go back out to the monthly. So we can start on the monthly perspective here. All right, so we put in this high here, okay, a monthly high above the 20K. I believe it was 20,000, almost 20,800, okay. But we have the rejection from that level here, and we've got this pin that's forming here on this monthly pin, okay. So we are expecting price to continue to drop back into the range here, all right. Let's go to the weekly. All right, so we can see that we have now a weekly 3-bar, okay, and this nice big bearish engulfing candle that has also taken out this low here, and you can probably see that after I put the weekly markups on here and just kind of zoom in on this a little bit more. Okay, so we can see here we did actually come down. If we look at the low of this candle here, it is 19,506.2. And this candle here has taken that level out, 1905.01, right? 19,501. So just barely, right? Just by a few pips, but we have price coming down below the level here. So we're going to look for price to continue into the imbalance here and the weekly OB. Okay, so if we do get a lower retracement or something to that effect here, we look for price to come back up like that and then come down into this level like so. All right, so let's go to the daily and let's get a little zoomed in view on that right here. Okay, so look at right there, we've got the weekly sweep just below the low here, right? And we don't have a low put in yet, or we don't have a swing low formed yet. Okay, so I'm going to be seeing how the week opens, right? We may get a gap down, we may get a gap up, right? But either way, if it does retrace back up, we're going to be looking for price to come back into forming lower high here. This is a nice imbalanced area to target. We can look for that certainly as a point of interest there, right? So stop on high drop, peak reversal, right? False move week beginning, and then the continuation down into the weekly discount. All right, so let's drop down to the 4 hour, okay? And so this is basically going to be more of the same, right? Exactly what I'm expecting here on the daily, right? On the 4 hour, we're going to be looking at the same thing. We don't have a swing low put in here, but the low is currently holding here. So we're going to have to see how price opens for the week, right? But if we do, best case scenario is create a swing low here, right? Which in turn creates equal lows with the swing low here. And then this movement up into a premium point of interest, right? Like I said here, this was the daily, but looking at the 4 hour, we can even, go lower, right? Maybe this one right here. Okay, and so we can see something like this happen at the start of the week. All right, that would be the best case scenario if we can. Move up and then the continuation down and the follow through for the rest of the week. Okay, so looks pretty straightforward. I mean, if you can see, there's a very similar pattern for all the pairs this week here. So if we can get that to happen, all right, there should be a pretty easy week to trade. And the direction, if the direction is correct, it should be some nice setups that occur for us here. Okay, so that is pretty much the rundown, and that's going to do it for the review. If you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and drop some comments or questions below in the video. If necessary, I will answer and read any of the comments if I can. And if you would like the intraday perspectives on the rest of these day by day, play by play, take a look at the link in the description. Obviously, the VIP members and the membership, we get an in-depth view every day of the daily analysis, and then I'll go down further into the lower time frames to look at the intraday setups, right? And that's available for you guys if you guys decide to join the membership. So we'd like to see more people in the community if we can. Definitely sign up for free and join the free membership, because all of these videos are going to be posted into the free community first. So the Sunday weekly reviews and also any of the new educational content that I put out on the channel will also go into the free member section first before I upload to the channel. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, that's another way to get an early jump on the videos that I post, is to sign up for the free membership in the link in the description below. All right, guys. So that's going to do it. I hope you guys have a productive and successful trading week. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. And that's going to do it for this review. See you guys on the next video.